Okay, in this demo video, I'm going to show you guys how to recreate the folded cloth. This one is slightly more challenging because you do need to draw the uh, basic like outline. So all of these are the contour lines, right? It's all of the details. And majority of what this is going to be is just the shadow work. So I always say to start with the darkest shadows, the darkest shadow being here and here. And so we're gonna go ahead using the same technique. So down with our finger, index finger right here, pushing down, we're gonna go in and we're just going to add this darker shadow first, okay? So we're just building it slightly. We can go in and fix it too, since this is supposed to be a nice curved line like that. All right, then we do see one down here. Here, so it's this one. And so then right here, and remember, since this is the darkest shadow, we want to go in with a lot of pressure there. We want to make sure we're getting that look. So right here, I'm going to turn off the light just so that we can see it a little bit more naturally. So this is a lot darker. Right here, this is slightly darker there. So if we're looking at this, so right here, boom, then we have one little line here. There's this little dark shadow here. And then there's this, might go in there. So then this area should be this area. There's also this little area here. Okay. There's this little area. And it kind of connects up here. And so right now we're getting kind of like the basic outline. This is what it's kind of looking like right now. As we start to add in some more of these shadows. So like right here, this is still in shadow. It's just not as dark. So I'm going to go in and just very lightly color that in. I can see that right here, it actually gets slightly darker in this area. Okay, it gets slightly darker here in this area, here in this area. But right here, this is where it's the darkest. Okay, so we're starting to kind of create this little area here. And if it helps you start from like the bottom moving towards the top or starting from the left going to the right, whatever's going to help you. Right now it looks like I'm starting from bottom to top, but I basically just jump everywhere in my drawing. So right here I'm just adding a little bit more there. It looks like here it kind of goes in. So I'm going to go in like that. Then there's this. And then right on the other side, there's a little shadow here. Right. It's a bit of shadow here. There's a bit of shadow here. Right, there's going to be a bit of shadow here. Okay, so we're starting to create the illusion of that dimension just with placing that shadow where we see it. And so it's going to start as a slow build. You can even grab this guy right here because the entire image is gray. So we could just start it off by adding this little light gray to the entire drawing. And then just slowly adding in the areas that should be getting darker. So then right here we see that this is going to be slightly darker. And right here we see, so right here, then it kind of goes here, then like that. Just go in this way a little bit. That's darker. Right, so we're just gonna go in and we're just adding that kind of dimension over here, this area here. So all of that's going to be just like this. Right. This is this little area here. We do have to draw this little line. Right. And so then this time the shadow's above it rather than below it. So I'm going to switch my paper around. It's gonna go like that. Right. And so we're kind of doing something like this. And so once you have a good amount of value in there, then we can go in and we can start blending it. Right. Good. So we're starting to see that dimension. And so the big idea is just that we are doing the darkest areas first, and then we're slowly working on getting those lighter areas in. Okay, so here we have this one, then it slowly, right, it seeps into here. This is going to make it more natural here. This. Right, and so we're starting to see that slow little build. Okay. And so the rest of this I'm going to do off screen, but it's legit just adding the values where you see them. So right here, this is the darkest. So right here, I went ahead and I added the darkest. And then I can even go back in after blending it and making it super dark again, just to go in and blend it one more time. That way it looks seamless, it looks realistic. Okay, and then right here, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna pick up some of that, so that right here, it's looking more like, oh, okay, that is that fold. Okay, over here, slightly darker. So I'm gonna finish that off screen. Okay, I have gone ahead and I added a bit more value. I went and I blended it all out. Once I blended it, the shadows got kind of light. And so I'm gonna go in and do the final touches. We still need some of that shadow right here and right in here. I got all of the darker areas. Now I'm just going in and I am solidifying those areas that are going to be just slightly darker. They lightened up once we blended it, and so we don't want that to happen each time. And so we're just going in and we are adding that value back slightly. Right? And so we're doing that for this entire drawing. Okay, but it should start looking like that. And then in the areas where you see the most light, which would be right here, or in this area too, we can go in with our erasers And I'm just gonna do this little area here. You can kind of lighten that up by erasing it or by adding a very light value. And so right here, so it's looking like something like this, right? This is still really dark in shadow. This is not, so I'm gonna go in and I'm going to blend this area out. Okay, this is the darker area. That's slightly lighter. Right here. Right there. This edge there. Right, so it's just a slow blend. All right. There's this area here. We have this little line here. This one right here. I do apologize, the lights went out, but here it is. And then with the lighting, all right? But we can still work on this. I'm just out of time now. All right, thank you.